What are we? How's this work? You pick first, Dyson. Or
No,
you
it's
go.
gonna it'll like prompt us with options about who's gonna go first. So it's gonna be like, it's gonna give someone at random the option to choose or like pass off the choice. So I tend to just like pass it off and let the other person choose every single time because I don't really care.
Okay. Should we run through this without talking and then like talk about our decisions afterwards?
Um, sure, yeah, that's
Because
the best way to
I
learn.
think if I was gonna say if we do this as we go, then I'm gonna like probably cheat in some way.
Yeah. A lot of the time, I think like you don't want to. Your thought process shouldn't be contingent on what I'm saying. Or okay, um, I wouldn't say that. I would say like for an experienced drafter, that's the case.
Yeah.
Uh, for someone who's starting out, like, or wait, no, other way around. For an experienced drafter, like if you're hearing what I'm saying and like what I'm thinking,
Mm.
um, you're gonna get a huge advantage from that.
Yeah.
But
No.
for someone,
Yeah.
yeah, for someone that's like learning, if you're thinking too much about my thought process, you're not gonna like have your own plan and be creative with what you're doing.
I
So
agree. Yeah. No, I completely agree. So there's no search function. That kind of sucks.
yeah,
I don't know if you use that. I always use the search function.
um, no, I know where the heroes are. Actually, because I've used this website a lot.
Where is he? Okay. I'm not trying to fuck you up. I was just wondering, does this determine a winner, or do we just have to theorycraft who wins?
Yeah, we just have to theory craft basically.
Okay, we'll use the chat for that, Kappa.
Mm. Hmm.
Yeah, I left too when you banned her spirit.
Yeah.
Are we assuming that we're playing this game too?
Uh,
I don't know if that's fair.
Not necessarily. I don't think that matters so much.
Yeah. fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, we have to put their picks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm radiant, so. Or what?
What?
Picks over.
You are.
Sorry.
What were you saying?
Or. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. Sorry. Give me a second while I do this.
Okay.
Okay. I think I'm ready. Are you? Fella.
Hold on, I'm just, Monib just messaged me. 1 second, hold on.
Did you?
I am ready though.
Did you message him?
I guess I don't know. I apparently I added him. I don't remember this happening.
What did he message you with?
Hold on. He's like asking why I added him, but I don't remember. Um,
I've got a safe lane invoker.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So
Let's talk about this. I thought at first I was like, I definitely win this, but then I accidentally, I think I picked Skywrath too hastily. I meant to pick Earthshaker as I thought about
okay.
it. I was like, fuck, I should have picked Earthshaker, but we can't just assume that. Let's go with the draft that I drafted because that's the one that I would have drafted in a game. So, what do you think Earthshaker would have been here? Like, ignore the Shen because that came after, so maybe you wouldn't have picked Shen. But like with Beastmaster, Lich, Invoker, and their summons and shit, would Earthshaker have been a good pick? He's also like Beastmaster is really bad against Earthshaker for other reasons too.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
like
wait a minute.
he doesn't have a blink, so it's like once I fissure you die.
Yeah. My for whatever reason my Firefox is like not opening, but I remember what the heroes are and the lands and everything. So
Are you sure?
um
I'm streaming it too, so
yeah.
if you want to check that.
Oh yeah, that works. But okay, yeah, Firefox just came back up. So basically, like obviously, so the first two picks being Zeus Spectre is like pretty scary, obviously.
That's what I thought too.
Um, yeah, and it's kind of like that's where the reason I took so long to decide my second pick was like I knew if I picked like I wanted to go Lich Doom, but I didn't feel like a solo Doom. Like I think solo offlane Doom is fine, but I think I'm more flexible if I take the Lich. And I knew you would ban one of the two because you know that I do that. So, I
There's some
preferred the Lich.
that's the fall here is there's some metagaming here, so like yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's gonna happen when you're drafting someone you know
Yeah.
and or drafting against someone you know, and that happens like because you'll play against the same captains over and over.
Yeah.
Um, and like I've already, you know, in the limited time that I have been playing this mode recently, I have already been doing that.
Yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, I basically wanted to shut Spectre down because, like, if you know, obviously, like her weakness is the laning phase, and I got Beastmaster because like I kind of felt like that would throw you off. It also like if you look at those heroes, if I have Lich, Invoker, Beastmaster as my first three, I still have a lot of versatility. Whereas you're kind of locked in. Like you have your Spectre is like guaranteed safe lane farming. Your Zeus is guaranteed mid. Although you can be a little more flexible with Zeus, but like if you're going for Zeus Spectre as your plan,
You're
it's
trying to get both of them
very
fun. Yeah, I agree.
yeah
There's no doubt about that.
yeah.
I
So
don't I don't
then
mind that. I don't mind that though. Like you sacrifice versatility for strength and draft, you know.
yeah and basically I actually had Pugna in mind before you even picked Sky, and when you did it, I was just like, all right, guaranteed Pugna. Like
Yeah.
this is actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so and the reason I was already thinking Pugna is like I already knew when you got the bounty that I wanted to safe lane the Invoker, um, and since I had Beastmaster with that too, and you got bounty. Like I actually wanted bounty,
Yeah.
because that punishes Zeus and Spectre as
I
well
agree.
in
Yeah.
the laning phase. So
Mhm.
so not being able to get bounty made me have to like kind of rethink what I was doing. Um, but yeah, so basically I kind of went all in on the early game because I feel like those heroes, just like the heroes that you picked, when your first three picks are Spectre, Zeus, Bounty, you just can't stand up to that kind of pressure. Um,
What was the pressure? Is that Lich Beastmaster?
well, Lich Beastmaster is a heavy pressure lane for sure, but it's mostly just like my death ball. Like if I have Forged Spirits and Boars and the Beastmaster aura and Chen Creeps and Pugna and a Lich, you know, like who's going to be a highly leveled support early on when I'm death balling, like um, I just feel like your lineup can't deal with it.
Mm.
And I was thinking Spirit Breaker, but it was like up to Chen, or okay, it was between Chen and Spirit Breaker. And then when you picked Clock, I was like, all right, Spirit Breaker probably isn't good, because of the clock. So I got Chen.
I see. You don't you don't think that we'd like get even like one pick on like your mid or even like your invoker, you know, for Christ's sake or whatever? Because like Bunny will be roaming. Like just
Well,
if I like the pick potential here is so strong. Every single one of my heroes provides to a pick. You know,
mhm.
like
Yeah, that's true.
maybe not Skywrath, but like Bounty could be there, Clock could hook in, and then Spectre and Zeus obviously. Like
Right, and that's exactly why I would want a 5-man.
that's what I mean. You'd have to
Um,
5-man so early, you know, to
yeah,
avoid anything.
but I think like if you played against my draft in practice, like I think very few pub players, if they're playing against that lineup, would actually beat it. Like with your team,
Yeah.
because it's just so hard to like. How do you stop that 5-man? Chen is like absolutely absurd against what you have. I think.
Even still, couldn't we just like try to hope for high ground defense and like outskill? Because like
Yeah.
Spectre like probably beats all those heroes in
Yeah,
so
yeah.
many ways with Radiance. But like even forgetting Spectre for a second, like I still have some pretty good DPS overall on like a scaling support like Skywrath. You know, Clock is always going to be a worry, especially if he gets like a BKB or something. Zeus does a lot of damage or something. You know.
Hmm. I mean, I don't think like you can win this game for sure. Like you have you know things going for you that can help you win. I don't think like I think my draft wins probably like 65-35
That's
to
what I
be
was
honest.
thinking. Yeah, I was trying to do a
Yeah.
percentage there.
Hmm.
I see.
But I still like I okay, I think this is a good draft to have done because it's so there's so many things going on that, and especially that like that I kind of pinned you on in terms of what you were thinking in the draft,
Yeah.
which I might or might not be right about, but like so for example, right? I knew you would ban Doom. Like I'm 100% knew you were gonna ban Doom.
I mean, after you were
Um,
gonna pick like
and
after you picked Lich, I was like, okay, I'm definitely banning Dead.
yeah. Um, so that like the thing is, you can feel like a ban is really good in a certain situation. Like it looks like the right ban, right?
Yeah.
Um, I kind of don't think it was because okay, maybe it was, but you have to like anticipate how I am as a drafter, I think. And it's pretty hard for you to do that, like because we haven't been drafting against each other. But um, I think like if we do this a lot or whatever, and you get to know my drafting style, like I don't think you would do that again because if I can get any amount of information from you, like one pick or one ban, I feel like I'm ahead. Um, Especially because like what that does is instead of like what you had the chance to use that information as well, and you like gave it to me instead. Do you see what I'm saying by that? Like,
Like, okay, there's a difference. I just want to say there is a difference here between like, so in chess, knowing what your opponent could do is paramount because the board is usually it's even, um, usually like, or if it's not even, two good chess players will either be able to leverage their, what do they call it? They leverage their fuck. I think it's called royalty. They call it like whether you're ahead on pieces or not. It's fuck. What's it called? Just pieces. I play chess and I can't believe I don't know this word. They call it something. When you're ahead in pieces, material. When you're ahead in pieces or when you're ahead in material,
yeah,
they leverage that by using their positioning to justify their lack of material. So if I'm low on material,
yeah,
like I've got like a rook, and two knights, and you've still got your queen and like a rook and a knight, you're winning objectively because you have a queen over me and I only have a rook, a knight over you. Like
mhm,
like I could leverage that by saying like, yeah, I'm not gonna whip out board terms here or anything. I could leverage it by saying I have your king pinned and I can like check you every other turn to try to move around the map with my two
yeah,
knights and try to pin your king or your queen down and kill one of them. You know?
yeah,
So that's how chess works. But Dota's not the same way in the sense that you knowing what I'm gonna do, in the sense of like you knowing okay, well I know what he's gonna do, so I can just accordingly react. Like I can give up my material here, and just accord like move in position to what he's gonna do. I don't think that works as much in Dota because like I have Zeus Spectre. Just because you know that like after Zeus Spectre and like I pick up a bounty, just because you know that I'm gonna try to protect my safe lane by banning off heroes like Enchantress, Lone Druid and Doom. Like just because you know that I'm probably gonna ban off like, especially after you saw the Spectre pick and already banned Lone Druid, like I'm probably gonna try to ban the combination of any sort of dual lane that was gonna fuck me over. Just because you know that, I don't know if that means too much because like like sure you know it, but what are you gonna do about it? It's strong.
uh,
Again, I give up my versatility and I give up my trump card, but like I give it up for power. I have the combo, and I don't know if
right.
it's as I guess what I'm trying to say is it really counterable? Like is it hard counterable? That's where it comes down to you were saying like it's a 65-35 thing where I was like okay I could see that because, like, I definitely first and foremost your draft is creative as fuck. I never expected a safe lane invoker and a mid Pugna. I could have sworn that like your off lane was still gonna go like I don't know. I didn't know where you were gonna lane Pugna, but I didn't think you would just like farm him like that. I thought you'd throw him away or try to do some weird aggressive tri lane or something. Um, like I commend you for that much. And the Chen jungle caught me off guard. I thought it was bad initially, but as I'm thinking more about it, like especially with the compliment of what you said, there's a death ball. I was like, huh, that there's a lot of merit there. I completely see where he's going with this. But then I eventually came to like realize, just creativity alone doesn't obviously win the game. So there has to be merit behind it. And then you mentioned death ball, and now I'm trying to give that consideration. I'm still just trying to see like Zeus can spam the wave, right? Um,
Mhm.
and Clockwork can
I mean,
rocket flare, but
well,
that's
remember, it's pretty hard to like Clockwork Rockefeller is basically your only wave clear because if I put another ward down and 5 mana tower, like Zeus can't do anything about that.
Where'd you put the
But
nether ward? You know, like
anywhere.
I mean, it
I don't
doesn't
know.
have like Zeus has
You
like
can't kill it.
Zeus. I know, but I don't think it reaches Zeus. If you put it,
Yeah, it does.
how far
It's
away?
really
Are you putting it in front of towers? Like if you're putting it in front of towers, maybe. But I feel like at that point, like we just fight under tower with our like our team fight is insane. You know, like if I what is it called? If I what's the hook shot? If I hook shot anybody, Skywrath kills that person 100%.
yeah.
Like
But well, okay.
you don't do you
So
disagree? It'd be hard to get a hook shot on because you have so many creeps there. But like if I get a hook shot Cogs, like and Skywrath just ults that area, like that person's dead, even if Clockwork dies too. And I feel like if that's on a key target, I'm not saying Beastmaster or Chen, but if I get that on like a Pugna or like a Lich before he ults, which he won't because I'll have Ancient Seal, like the range on that is like all of Skywrath range is pretty good. Like the person that I target is going to die ideally before they cast a spell, which is fine if it's Beastmaster and it's iffy, kind of okay if it's Chen because like you know Chen still wants to get his ulti off, but he can just buy back and do that anyways. He doesn't mind. He doesn't care about the gold, and like you know Chen has his creeps to live on for him. But like if I ever catch out that Lich before he ults or the Invoker, especially the Invoker or Pugna, like you lose a lot of I think you lose a lot in your fights, you know.
mm.
Yeah, and we just clean house after that, I think.
Yeah. Well, okay. So okay, I wanna before I say anything about that, like I wanna make it clear that all your ideas about how the game is gonna play out, like all those things could definitely happen, and all those things are like valid plays that your lineup can threaten. But I think it's kind of a trap if you get too if you focus too hard on the plays that you can make as opposed to the plays that you're most likely going to be forced into making.
You don't see it. You don't see us ever hooking the Invoker or the Pugna. You really don't. You don't see that ever happen at all.
I mean, it's really contingent on play. It's just like I said, I feel like the draft is 65-35. The game is going to determine who wins, obviously. And we're doing this we're doing this to talk about how the game is going to work.
Yeah, I'm only trying to argue from the standpoint, by the way. Like, I'm not getting mad or anything. I'm arguing from the standpoint to justify the draft and try to see what's better.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So, like I said, I think like when you're drafting, talking about the actual gameplay, like obviously you have to think about that, but there's more going on than that. Because, all right, let me give you an example. So, did you like? Were you weirded out or like surprised when I banned Brood, or like were you even considering Brood?
I was considering Brood to some degree. It wasn't. I was when you banned him. After you banned him, I thought, oh man, there's that hero. I wish I could. I kind of wish now that you banned him. It was more like after the fact. Like you banned him, and then I was like, huh, that would have been nice because I could apply pressure on the other side of the map and threaten towers.
Exactly. And so here's the thing: is like, when I listen to a lot of people talk about their reasoning for drafting, I feel like that what you just said, that's exactly the reason to pick Brood in that game. But like a lot of people would think of it in a different way, I think.
How so?
Like a lot of people would think, oh, there's a safe lane Invoker, or like what do they put in that lane? Like I can, and you had first pick after that ban phase, so I would have been able to pick a Brood counter there. Which means like I'm not worried about laning against a Brood. That's not my concern.
Yeah.
And that's not what the reason I banned the Brood, which I think most people would think is the reason. Like most people are going to be like, oh, but like Brood just wrecks your lanes. But what's really going on is like it's the gameplay of the heroes involved in the draft that's important, right? The Brood can undercut my pressure, and that's the important part.
So even if she loses her lane, she'll just farm the jungle and come back at like 15 minutes with like a Necro or something and push your racks in while you're pushing a tower, like a tier 2.
Exactly. Yeah, she like Brood basically is the single hero that like destroys my draft. So, but like that, I don't think that's so obvious to just anyone watching. And especially, I think the way you were planning out your draft, I don't think you saw that because like you wanted the Clockwork Skywrath synergy, and I don't really think Clockwork is good in this patch, and I don't think he's been good for a while. But
well, I mean, we can assume a perfect world as well. I don't know. It's more like I picked Clockwork as okay. I'll be honest. At the last pick, I was thinking, okay, I can pick anyone I want here according to the draft. That's what I was thinking. I was just like you. Like I was being like, okay, I haven't left my last pick. I haven't left my last pick to be contingent on any sort of like ban. Like it wasn't a mystery last pick that if you would just somehow banned it and realized what niche strat I was going for, I was fucked. I was thinking in my mind, my draft. I mean, I do agree there was a lot of like lack of flexibility in where I was going for, but at the same time, I was thinking in my mind, I was like, it's just a strong draft. If I can just get an offlaner that complements this, be it Tide, be it Clock, be it really any hero that like would exacerbate like either a hero that can jump in and kill one person and help with the pick potential, or one hero that can jump in and just massively team fight everybody when the time is necessary. I was thinking like no matter what that hero may be, they can do it. And if they're probably going to be against a dual lane, so it's probably not going to necessarily need to be like I don't know, like does Invoker even beat Clock solo, you think? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Invoker would shit on Clock.
Yeah, I mean he has low base armor, so I'd imagine. Yeah, even with like Rocket Flare. Yeah, you're probably right in that respect. I agree. And that's like I said, that's the area that like kind of threw me off was your lanes there originally. Was like I was like the more I thought about it, I was like, man, maybe this wouldn't go as easy. At first, I was like, easy fucking game, like the fucking Zeus Spectre is a joke. But the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I got to give this a little bit of credit. Are you watching?